Here we are, day 3, my friends, of the Wealth Creator Challenge. Welcome, everyone. Whether you are here for the first time with us, maybe you've been with us this whole week, or maybe you are coming in, you already are a friend of our community, you're a member of our community. We welcome you. We know you could be a lot of places at a lunchtime on a Wednesday, and we're so happy that you're blessing us with your time together. Today we have a very special guest, my friend, Miss Lori Souza, who is going to be sharing her genius. Is raise of hands for anyone that's a little crypto curious, anyone that's curious about this crypto space, maybe has had some experience in crypto that haven't been all that great, perhaps. Raise of hands, that's definitely me. This asset class has continued to um, I won't say it continued to elude me. I would say I'm getting better. The more wisdom we seek, the fewer miracles we need. My favorite, phrase from Ron Harpender. Let's keep applying that to everything that we're learning. So, Lori is going to share her genius. She has been in the crypto space. Lori, would you say it's been really since it was a thing? Did you jump in almost immediately when you started learning about it?
Thanks, Lisa. So I didn't jump in immediately. Crypto was started with Bitcoin back in 2009. I heard about it. I thought it was a gaming token. I asked my kids, "Hey, do you know anything
Right.
about this?" But by 2015, a friend of mine from church introduced it to me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's when it made sense to me. It clicked. Yeah.
Well, we're going to hear a lot from Lori a little bit later today because she has, one thing that I've found the longer that I am in the space, especially of entrepreneurship and building a business the kingdom way is what we like to call it within a kingdom framework. Um, I believe we are meant to do life together. I believe that we are meant to use the skills and abilities and gifts of others to better our lives. I pray that we all have things we are blessing others with in our skills and abilities. And I know what I know. I know a lot of people who know things that I don't know, and that's all I need to know. So the people that I surround myself with are often way smarter than me in different areas. And so I love the ability to do that. My mom always told me, honey, whenever you do anything, make sure you at least go 2 by 2. There's wisdom in that. So let's do a little recap, friends. I want to remind you, I want to celebrate our winners from the first couple of days. We had Miss Stella, we had Deb, who was our day 1 and 2 winner. Just a reminder, if every day that you're attending our challenge, you get entered into our grand prize drawing. So every day you're here, whether your cameras are on or not, although we would love to see your beautiful faces, you are getting entered in our drawing, which is a $100 grand prize winner on Friday. So make sure you join us, keep showing up. If you are here and can put your camera on, as long as you're not naked, we would love to see your beautiful face. I want to remind you of the pillars of our company: faith, family, finance, and philanthropy. We are building a tribe of 7-figure givers. We are helping people generate more in their own lives so they can be generous. And I want to remind you, Adonis, if you could put the link in the chat for Levolution. This is the charity that we prayed about and we chose to celebrate and support this week. We this is actually kind of a new thing. We used to do this about a year and a half ago. We picked one every month, and for whatever reason, we stopped doing that. And I brought this back this month because, again, the idea that money is everywhere, that it's free flowing, that it's coming freely to us and given freely. There's an energy that creates in our own wealth building that is unlike anything else. So I invite you, friends. This is a 24 hours of continuous worship that's going to be taking place on July 12th in Buffalo, New York, serving the homeless. they're feeding and clothing them. So anything that you feel like you can give to this worthy cause, I would appreciate you donating and sharing the good news with others, if you want to pass that on as well. We've been talking this week about the Kingdom Wealth Formula, protection first in the kingdom. We've been talking about how we can earn more in our own businesses and our lives, how we can multiply. And we've been talking about one of my favorite words, which is my word of the year, which is leverage. We've been talking about when you help, when you lock arms with others, how much it helps you get where you want to go in a much faster fashion. Yesterday, we talked about my ultimate, what I believe is the first line of protection, which is life insurance. It's the absolute highest form of leverage. Any asset class, there's nothing like it. And we talked about the fact that God forbid anything happens to us, that our family is taken care of. Never want to have a GoFundMe. And one thing that I didn't mention yesterday that I want to invite you to consider, if this is a new concept to you, just lean in a little bit with me and just invite you to consider this. The worldly way is very much earn and multiply. We talked a little bit about that yesterday, right? Does it make sense to be expected to earn and multiply if we haven't first taken really good care of what we have, right? Where is our money going? Like, do we actually even know where it's going? I told you about my really bad Starbucks habit yesterday. Do we know where our money's going? I want you to picture for a minute the typical family. Usually they're sitting in their home, Liz. They have a long line of people out their front door. Just vision this with me. And the first person at the door is their mortgage payment. Nancy, the next person is their car payment. And then the next person is their phone bill. I think my kids would pay their phone bill first before their mortgage or their rent, because if they don't have their phones, does this resonate with anyone? My point is we have this long line of people that these bills that we're paying, right? And then the very last bill is our wealth bill. That's how the worldly way lives. That is how most people live. Now, let me ask you, how many families do you know are living paycheck to paycheck right now? Except for probably 90% of families out there. So do you think the worldly way is working for people, right? The kingdom way is to take care of ourselves, our wealth bucket. What bill deserves to be paid first? It's our wealth bucket, right? Our families, protect those things that we have. Now, protection also can apply to what we already have. What do we have in hand? What do we have in hand in terms of our monetary, things? What do we have in hand with our skills, our abilities, our gifts that we have been blessed with? The people that we know, the people that we are serving in our communities. How well are we stewarding those gifts? I found that when I was starting to think about a career change and retiring, I really thought about, am I using all the gifts that God gave me to glorify Him, to be everything that I could be, the best version of me? And I found I was very much lacking, right? We've been learning today, this week also, about the Better Platform, the fabulous affiliate program that it offers. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about the debt company, Prosperity Financial. If you haven't already, received your Better link by now, most of you should have received your own affiliate Better link. If you haven't, it's one of two reasons. It's either one, you showed up here and we don't even know you. You somehow got here and we have no record of you. Or two, we have a record of you, but we only have maybe your first name, or maybe an initial. I got somebody opted in, it was KI. I don't know who you are, KI. I want to serve you, but we need your name if we want to make you an affiliate. Okay. So by now you should have your own affiliate link. If you don't, please just drop a note in the chat that says, "Hey, I need some help with my affiliate." We'll make sure that one of our coaches reaches out to you to get you that. It's a free affiliate program, and it's bringing really powerful, meaningful income solutions to families. You also all have your own success coach that's been assigned to you. Now, some people, I was getting some messages yesterday about what does the success coach do with us? So there's a couple things that we do. First of all, we help you make sure that you get set up on better, you're equipped, you know how to leverage that system. We also help you implement your own Kingdom Wealth formula. We do an evaluation with you. What is, do I have life insurance? Do I even know what I have? For example, if I have assets, for example, today we're going to talk about the second way to protect what we have, which is protecting the money that we've already saved in 401ks, in IRAs, things like that. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. They can also help you evaluate that. I'm going to share a slide with you, and I want to share this with you. And it's not, by the way, I am not a fear monger. I am not. I've been on a lot of workshops, wealth workshops, and they lead with fear. I don't believe that is the kingdom way. I believe that seeking wisdom is the kingdom way. And I believe that once I realized there were ways that I could protect my family and that I could protect those that I love, I believe it's the kingdom way to share the good news. Okay. And so when I show you this slide, it is not to startle you. It's not to put fear in you. It's to educate you about what's been happening in the market. Okay. So this slide shows you basically a history of what the stock market has done. It started at around, I think it started in 1999. Okay. So one of the things that I love most about the world of finance is that numbers don't lie. They are what they are. It's not somebody's opinion, it's math. It's there, a record of history, right? Now, you might see some things, a couple of things that I just want to highlight to you on this is that someone that was investing from 99 to 2009, you can see that that investor basically made nothing, right? They went up and then they crashed down and then they went up again and they crashed back down. So we call this time, it's called the lost decade, basically, in the market. People that were investing. Now what's interesting about that lost decade is a lot of people have forgotten it because what's been happening recently since 2009, we've been having what's called the longest running bull market in the history of our lifetime. So a lot of people have forgotten it, right? Now you might have seen a blip. You see the market dropped 27% again in 2022. Now, if you are like me, and in 2008, I lost over $300,000 in my $1 million portfolio at that time. I remember being afraid to open the statements. I felt completely at vulnerable. I felt angry. I had two financial advisors I was working with at the time. Do you think they were calling me? Curious, Lisa, how are you doing? Are you okay? I know the market's been bad. In fact, when I tried to get them on the phone, they were ghosting me. And I'm sure it was that they just didn't know what to say. Bless their hearts. They were good people trying to do good things, right? But guess what? It would be really, really poor judgment on my part if I went through that experience and I didn't create some options for myself to see if there was ways to not do that again, right? So I got educated. I looked for people that, again, were smarter than me, right? Because there is no need for you to participate in the next market loss. There are tools that you can implement today. This is, again, one of the things that our success coaches can help you with. That it will enable you to whatever's coming. Again, I am not a fortune teller. I do not have any special tool that I can share with you that will tell you exactly what's going to happen in the market. But I do know that something's coming. We know that there's really only three ways to invest in the market. We know that there's the fixed way. This is, your typical savings or CDs. There's a variable way. This is where most people are in the market. This is where I was for decades until I knew there was other ways. And it's volatile. It's a roller coaster ride. This is actually where the crypto space is, in fact, and that's why we get to have people like Lori in our lives. That if we want to participate in that asset class, we get to increase our knowledge there, right? And then there's indexing. This is a strategy that very few people are aware of. Although it's been around for many, many years, my financial advisors that I worked with very well could have told me about them, but they didn't. And the reason is because, financial advisors are paid by something called assets under management. That means that as long as you have assets in their portfolio, they are getting paid, right? As soon as you move them away into a tool like an indexing, fixed indexed annuity, which is the tool that we use to protect any retirement accounts you have, as soon as you move that away, it greatly diminishes what their commission is. So again, we're not trying to take anything from someone, but we are very, very passionate about helping you take control of your own assets. And if there's a way that you can protect what you have, we want to make sure you do that. Okay. We also are really aware of what taxes are going to do and how they can really provide devastating results when it comes to our wealth. I want you to consider for a minute, there's really only three ways to invest. And I want you to consider which one sounds best. Is it the taxable? Is it the tax deferred or the tax advantaged? Tax advantage. Anyone find that to be a little more appealing than the others, right? Now, isn't it funny? How many of you have realized that there are ways to build wealth tax advantaged? Raise of hands for those of you that maybe have heard of the Roth IRA. How many of you have heard of the concept of cash value life insurance? Are you familiar with that concept? Anyone? We talked about life insurance yesterday from a term insurance perspective, but did you know that there are ways that you can actually, I'm not going to say be your own bank, but I'm going to say act like a bank when it comes to using life insurance. This is an asset class that has been around for generations. This is how, the Rockefellers continued to build wealth where the Rothschilds did not, because the Rockefellers had life insurance in place that established legacy, that built cash value. And what a lot of people don't realize is that that life insurance is completely tax-free. So it creates this amazing wealth bucket that you can tap into. Now, I'm not saying that you should not take advantage of a 401k that has a match, for example. I'm not saying you shouldn't have some of your assets in the market where you can experience remarkable gain. But I'm saying, doesn't it make sense to have a balanced portfolio, right? To not all have all your eggs in one basket. And especially when we are in volatile times, if there is a crash that's coming, and it's not a matter of if, it's really just when, we know that there's no possible way that it's going to continue to go up. If there's a way that you can protect what you have, but also build wealth tax free that you can tap into when the market goes down, doesn't that make sense to add? It also adds an automatic legacy for your family because cash value life insurance is a lifetime life insurance policy, unlike term insurance that's more like renting versus owning. Okay. So again, this is one of the things that our wealth specialists can, will help you evaluate. Does this asset tool make sense to add to my life? Do I believe the kingdom wealth formula makes sense? That's another part that we're going to talk about with our success coaches. Now I'm gonna shift now. We're gonna get to move to my friend Lori. And Lori, you and I are gonna have some fun. I'm gonna pin us both, first of all. And I want to share with you again, one of my favorite things about entrepreneurship is the people that I get to meet. We've had such wonderful examples this week of the people that I've been blessed to meet. My friend Jen and Lorna were on earlier this week. We had did anyone just love Rachel Jane's share yesterday? Wasn't she just amazing? Lori is a perfect example of Lori and I met in a wonderful community called it's called Shanda Sumter's community. This was Lori, I think we met, I believe it was around 2020, if I'm not mistaken. It was
Yeah,
a while ago,
it was
right?
hardcore
It was
work.
hardcore.
And,
Yeah.
and
And, it's funny because we met as more just like, I'm kind of new to this. I don't know what to expect. And we were kind of just getting to know each other. And we've stayed in touch. She's come to some events when I was out in Arizona. We've continued to be, she's a friend and she has also helped me personally. I have a very personal story when it comes to crypto. My sweet father, many of you know, my mom was my best friend, my dad's soulmate. When she passed away, my dad was really, he was very lost, and he was seeking attention and wisdom from people that unfortunately were filling a hole in his heart, and he got caught in not just one, but three different Bitcoin scams, and it took a lot for me to even convince him to realize that he was scammed, right? He comes from the generation of, people do what they say they're going to do. Honey, there's a website. That's got to mean it's real, right? And, I remember, Lori, I consulted you, I think it was after the second one, and she let me know, she has such knowledge in this space, and she's also been an actual investigator for, is it the federal government that you were an
no,
investigator for?
no.
um
So
uh,
I have a
an
story that
organization
leads
that,
to that if you'd
yeah.
like to hear that.
Okay, why don't I pass the baton to you? But I am telling you, if you are crypto curious, if you are interested in getting advice from the right people, you get to tune in and listen to Lori. Okay, Lori, I'll pass the baton to you, my dear.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lisa, and thank you all for being here today. I really like the fact that you have an interactive workshop opportunity right here. And what I like is that I know you want to hear what I have to say, but I like to hear what you have to say too. So I'd like to use the chat and the little reaction button that you have at the bottom. Um, and I can sit here as a speaker today and tell you that I've been an entrepreneur for 22 years, running my own business, changing my business. Um, and I can tell you I'm proud of it, but it hasn't gone without a struggle. And how many of you know what a struggle is with a little reaction or a little, hey, yeah, right? So, well, the main reason I'm here today is to tell you about cryptocurrency, but it's also Lisa has opened up a forum for me to talk about God and money. And how many of you have kept that separate? Like completely separate? Well, a lot of people have. And if everybody's okay with that, I'm going to talk about God and money because it's going to lead us to the crypto conversation and exactly what Lisa's father has experienced. And so it's no joke that building a business is hard work. Okay. It's no joke that self-reliance and that income, earning your income, being self-reliant and self-sovereign is a scary place to be. And how many of you already run your own business? Just by show of hands, if you don't mind, so I can get an idea how many are okay. And so many people are employees. Many people here are running their own business. Well, when you're thinking about becoming self-sovereign, that's the term we use in cryptocurrency, is being self-sovereign, where you are financially independent and free from a system that's no longer working. But it is nothing to joke about when you have a family to feed and you need money and you don't have anybody to turn to. And if anybody knows here what I'm talking about, I've been in that situation where I've had nobody to turn to except God. It's me and God, and we got to make some money because we got to feed our family. And so what happens is you get pushed off an edge. And if anybody can relate with what Lisa was saying, is that there's changes in our economy right now. And a lot of us feel like we're getting pushed off an edge. Salaries don't go up the way they used to. Salaries have gone down in proportion to the cost of living. So that's a big jarring factor in our current economy. Back when I was an employee in the corporate world, I used to dream, wow, I wish I could make enough money to pay off my credit cards, or I wish I could make enough money so that I could have more time and more freedom. And I would dream this dream. And I would pray to God, when you dream your dream and you have an imagination, that is your direct contact with God. And that I dreamt that things were different. Why do I have to work so many hours? I have to work overtime to make things meet. Well, I didn't know how it was going to work, but I trusted that God was going to make it work, right? And after 17 years of working in the corporate world, well, I got laid off, and it was during the 2001 recession. You saw the part in the stock market graph that Lisa showed in 2001. The stock market dropped quite a bit. I worked in the tech industry, so I have a large experience in technology. And I got to see technology change over the years, starting in it so young. And I was working the best paid job I ever had, but I was still dreaming and imagining how can I make this work? How can I pay off my credit cards and have more time and more freedom? Well, I said, please, God, allow me. Well, I got laid off. That's the way. And that was how God did it. And it wasn't easy because God's plan wasn't my plan, but it forced me to make a difference or change what I was doing. And so you all might be in a situation, or some of you may be in a situation like, I need to do something different because the things that were working are no longer working. And at that point in time, and a couple other points since then, when I've gotten to a really low point, I have nothing to do but 100% conviction to myself. And when you get to that point where you are 100% convicted to yourself in the direction that you are going financially, then you do it. It's like a fire, right? Okay, well, or you turn over the rocks and looking for the money. Okay, you pick up the rocks, there's no money under there. Okay, you got to go out and make the money. So there's something to be said about passive income and earned income. And I believe that as we build wealth and a wealth mindset, we turn our liabilities into assets. And so Lisa had shown earlier in the week what you call a cash flow quadrant. And I'm going to just tie that in. Let me see if I can share that with you all here. I'm going to tie that in with crypto. Okay, it's coming. The crypto part's coming. But I just want to let you know why I'm so excited about this opportunity, because it is something completely different. Let's see if we can see this here. So do you remember this slide, the cash flow quadrant? When I taught real estate in real estate school to individuals who were actually going to become self-employed and work on their own and leave their job, I would teach a class called Investing in Your Business. And so this is where, if some of you are still working an hourly job, the employee, well, cryptocurrency brings you over onto this side of the quadrant where you're investing in yourself, your business, and passive income. Because what it does, it's a long-term investment. It's a long-term hold. And so it can help you get into a self-employed situation as well. So I wanted to bring it back to this cash flow quadrant. I could talk a whole hour and a half on this slide only, but we don't have that time here. I just wanted to let you know how it gives you a vehicle to move from being an employee over into investing and creating passive income for yourself in the future. What it does now, if you're working a job or creating a salary or a commission, you can take a portion of that salary or commission and move it into cryptocurrency. So that would be a vehicle, as well as, and I think you did have somebody that talked about real estate. Real estate is also an opportunity for passive income where you turn your liability into an asset. Most of us, when we get a big check, we want to go out and buy something that doesn't earn us any money, right? But when you become a business owner, or that self-sovereign attitude of, okay, I have to turn this money because I'm the one that's going to make it bigger or smaller. So when you get an amount of money, or when you get your paycheck or you get your commission check, what do you do with it? And so that is where you have opportunities now that are before you with our changing economy. So I'm going to take, that's going to pull me into the crypto. When I first got into crypto, I was super excited about learning that it is a hedge against inflation, because I had built my business and invested in real estate, and I was seeing inflation creep in the real estate market and the cost of living. All of us are seeing that. The cost of living is really difficult. It's really high right now. So it seems that everybody has to work harder to pay for the high prices. Well, when my friend who introduced me, his name was Morpheus. Do you guys know the name Morpheus comes from the movie The Matrix? If you haven't seen it, we're living in the Matrix right now. And the Matrix is a top-down system that is the elitist system that doesn't work for everybody. And when we look at cryptocurrency, it's a technological system that brings a level playing ground to everybody. There's no hierarchy. So it is a level playing ground. And the nice thing about it is called fractional money. So if I take $1 today, anybody want to take $1 and show it to me? And you rip it up in pieces, is it worth more? No, it's worth nothing, right? It's paper. But when you take, let's say, a Bitcoin and you tear it up in a million different pieces, it's worth more. And when you realize fractional money, because you can fractionalize it, it creates a deflationary system. So it's a whole new system. It's a digital system. It's outside of governments because it's self-governing. It governs itself. Does it give people who are poor an opportunity to create wealth for themselves in the future? Yes, it does. Even if it's just a little bit that you invest in. So I got involved. I said, wow, this hedge against inflation, I love this. It's a whole different vehicle. And it's, I believe, the future of money. Because as we see our economy change and governments change worldwide and the scene, a lot of this doesn't make sense. I took economics. I have a master's in business. You take any economics classes, all the things that are happening in economics aren't making any sense. The laws of economics aren't, supply and demand aren't making sense, but it does make sense with the future of money, the digitized money that governs itself. So I did find out early on that most people that got into crypto got scammed, and myself included. I got scammed. And that brings me to Lisa, helping Lisa with her father. So I did really well getting in early, but I was also considered a high risk investor. So not everybody here is a high risk investor, okay, but I am. And so I realize the greater the risk, the greater the reward. That's the way it is when you're investing. So I found out how many scammers there are in this field, and it's easy because it's digital and you don't normally see the people. It all came out during this digital age when all of us are online and Zooming after COVID. So now everybody's online Zooming, everybody's joining these private chats, and you have Telegram and you have WhatsApp and you have Discord, all these different chats you can join now. You don't know who's real and who's not. And so one thing I did was join up with another cryptocurrency company called Coinstructive, where I actually was a case manager and I helped with many cases on crypto scams so I could learn more about them and become a better crypto coach. And the fact is that there's so many fake exchanges out there right now that are trying to lure people in because people want to get in and people have a fear of missing out. But if it's not a name you've ever heard of, I don't recommend you get involved, right? If it's somebody sending you a link in a little chat, don't get involved. I mean, we're not that digital yet. We have a lot to learn about trusting in ourselves and trusting in God. So there is a way that we can move our finances into passive income through cryptocurrency. There is a way to do it so you won't get scammed and so you can protect your money and it's safe. And also, I do want to add that Bitcoin is not, and it's considered a commodity. I'm not sure if you were all aware of that. It's not an asset. It's a commodity like gold. So it's considered digital gold. And so what happens to the price of gold? We see the price of gold is going up. When you see inflationary measures or crisis investing, gold and silver go up. And Bitcoin is right there with it. So we're going to see a continuance, and it does have a pattern. There's some predictability in it. It does have a pattern where we're going to continue to see it go up, where your money is going to be worth more in the future, not less, like the dollar.
Lori, I have a question there.
Yeah.
I heard an analogy that I thought it made sense to my first grader brain when it comes to crypto. It used to be, they gave the analogy of going to Chuck E. Cheese,
Oh,
and
yes.
you have a dollar, and you go and you exchange it for tokens. But then we also, the dollar we know is backed by the gold standard. And it almost, they gave the analogy like Bitcoin is like the gold, it's going to become almost like the gold standard if it isn't already. Is that does that resonate with you? Is that a good analogy?
So remember, the dollar stopped being backed by the gold standard back when we signed the New Deal with Roosevelt. So
Oh,
that's when we signed.
I didn't know that.
We are not, the dollar is just it's debt based. So our
Gotcha.
current financial system is based on the amount of debt that we take out. So that was a whole nother class I taught, is 3 hours on the financial system, that the more loans that you take out, the more debt that you incur, the more dollars get printed. So when we get tired of hearing how many dollars are being printed, the reason why so many dollars are being printed, well, when the more we print, it devalues the dollar, right?
More in debt we are.
It means the more in debt we are because the more of us are getting loans to pay off our bills. And so but the system right now wants us to incur more debt, wants us to take out another credit card so that we can, when we take out more debt, we get more money printed. When we have more money printed, then the way the system is, there's a secondary market that's running parallel, and it's the investor market. That dollar is printed out for you, or to put on the books for you. You don't get the whole loan when you get a loan. You don't get the whole loan. It's just on your books. But those dollars that are printed out go into the investors' hands that invested in the United States. And they're the ones that are investing it. So that's a tough one, I know. That's
Yeah.
our market right now. It's called an open system market. And it's debt backed. So anyway, Bitcoin is in fact like gold. It's digital gold. And so it's not debt backed. It is very much an asset. Yeah.
I've seen now that ETFs are coming out. And so
Yes.
financial advisors can be offering this. Can you explain that? I'm still getting my mind around how that works.
Yeah, so am I. So what's happened is that the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, has improved that Wall Street now offer cryptocurrency as an investment. And those investments are in the form of ETFs. So there's about 5 cryptos that you might want to take note of that are allowed, which are going to increase in value greatly. Bitcoin, which is BTC, Bitcoin Cash, which is BCH, Ethereum, which is ETH, and there's also Ethereum Classic ETC, and then there's Link, LINK. So those 5 are ETFs. That means they're legit. They're on Wall Street. They're treating them just like a fund or a stock market. So that means investors are going to go in and invest into the ETF, which they're doing now. They're going to put money in and they're going to bet on the future, and the future is going to take it up. Now, what happens is with digital currency and with Bitcoin in particular, there's a limited supply. There's only 21 million. Okay, it's just like going to Chuck E. Cheese. You can only get 21 million coins at Chuck E. Cheese. That's it. Full coins. One full Bitcoin is worth 65,000 today. So can you buy $1 of Bitcoin? Yes, you can. That's what makes it fractional money. Can you buy $10? Yes. Every paycheck, can you go out and take $100 and move it over into Bitcoin, move it out of dollars into Bitcoin? Yes, you can. And I'm telling you as an educator, because I'm not a financial advisor, but this is one way that you move it out of the debt-based dollar and into an asset of Bitcoin. Now, the ETFs can function the cryptocurrency ETFs can function on Wall Street because they were approved by the SEC. That doesn't mean that we have more of a supply of Bitcoin. You can't print more Bitcoin. It's a digital program. It stops at 21 million. So what happens if you get just a little piece of it? The supply is limited at 21 million. We'll do the math right now. How many dollars do we have printed? We have $30 trillion printed. So think about how little your $1 can buy. And if you proportionally look at the deflationary measure that Bitcoin offers, 21 million is not a lot, but you can fractionalize it and break it up, and a little bit will go a lot longer way than $1. And so, because it's the future where we're going, think about it. I don't know, how many of you have kids? You have kids. How many of them are going to walk into the bank in the future? You know, they're all on their phone. They're sending money. Cash App takes Bitcoin. You know, everything's digital. You know, QR code. With the QR code, I can send my Bitcoin to Lisa. Wherever we are, we can send money across the world with a QR code. You don't need to physically go anywhere to send that transaction. So that's what the technology is doing. It's allowing us to have worldwide transactions with borderless fees in the transaction, because Bitcoin is the same all around the world. There's no currency exchange.
And Lori, there's no asset class that has ever done what Bitcoin has done
No,
on the planet. And
no.
I think that's one reason it's like a just-in-time society that we live in. And let's face it, we know how many families maybe have some catching up to do. So they feel that this is, they take the gamble and they get enticed into these. So, I would say there's probably 90% scams and 10%. I'm coming up with a number
No,
just from my personal experience. I was in a master's mind. In this master's mind, you have to be earning $500,000 or more in your business to even be part of the master's mind. And I attended our December meetup, and it was a room of there were about probably about 100 of us. And he asked the leader of the group, his name's Dr. Greg Reed. He asked people to raise their hand. Um, Usually you might get together at these and you might talk about triumphs of the year. He asked us to tell us what kicked our butts this year? What really just brought us to our knees? And I
Mm,
raised my hand and I shared with him about my father and about how he had been scammed. And do you know that Greg asked everyone to just pause for a minute and just say, okay, let's just put it out there. How many of us have been scammed in this room in Bitcoin? Do you know that 90% of the room raised their hand? There was a guy behind me that lost 1 million, from a scammer. And
yeah.
so it doesn't matter how well or not well you're doing financially. Now that you know, my friends, there is no doubt in my mind that this asset class is going to be around for in perpetuity. Would you agree, Lori, that it's no longer just something that may or may not take off, right? It is here to stay. Would you agree with that?
It is here to stay. I want to piggyback off of what you had just said, because if you go to a Bitcoin conference where everybody's a Bitcoiner or person, most everybody who has invested into it has been scammed. And that
Yeah,
is just like you investing in the stock market in 2001. And when you lost the 300,000, that was nothing to do with the Bitcoin, right? It
right,
was
right.
it was the way the system ran. And in 2008, 90% of the population lost their money. And
Yep,
their incomes in 2008 have never recovered. So that's our system we're in now. Now, when we go out and we try anything new, remember, don't be afraid to fail, right? Don't invest more than you're willing to lose. That man that lost 1 million obviously could lose 1 million.
right,
Don't invest
right.
anything more than you're willing to lose on anything, stocks, Bitcoin, nothing. If you're willing to lose it, if you're willing to lose $100 or $500 just to give it a try, it's a digital transaction is what it is, then I say, yes, do that. Once you feel comfortable with it and you're educated enough about it and you know it's going to create wealth in your future, then you can invest more money that you're willing to lose. And so I don't go in it with a negative attitude of I'm going to just put this money over here because I'm going to lose it. I
Right.
don't do that.
Yeah,
I keep a positive attitude about it, and I talk with God frequently about it. It's like,
yeah,
yes, I have been scammed out of my IRA. In my I had a self-directed IRA. So for me, my entire life savings went to investing in the dollar. And
right.
so I've been scammed more that way than I have in crypto. But
Yeah, yeah,
regardless, it's a more reliable way of investing in money because you're the one that is responsible for taking care of it, not a bank. You are. So
yeah.
you get to actually hold your digital assets in a digital wallet. And when you hold it in a digital wallet, you own it, and then you can transact with it. And it is not going away. Like Lisa said, it is now the legal tender for El Salvador. Malaysia is even visiting it as a legal tender. The United Arab Emirates has welcomed it, and so is Tokyo. As Tokyo's economy has grown so much since they've implemented Bitcoin, and Venezuela is really helping with their inflation, their hyperinflation, since they've implemented it too. So it does give a opportunity for people to transmit funds and send funds worldwide. So we don't see it so much in the US, the benefits of it. And it doesn't make so much for us in the US because the dollar is the strongest government dollar in the world. But in the rest of the world, where there wasn't a strong governmental currency or they had severe inflation or hyperinflation, they see it's actually remedy their economies.
So crazy. And this, I love that you're talking about I never had thought to look at it that way, that the loss in the investments, there's no difference really. It's a gamble either way,
Yeah.
but think about the more wisdom you're seeking. Ladies, are you learning something? Are you getting are we raising the needle just a little bit? In fact, Lori, I feel like we should get to, Lori has generously offered some time with her for each of you, a free gift. I feel like it would be almost better use of your time and respectful of your time if we did a class with you with what you were planning to offer. Is that something you would be willing to do? You know how I put her on, like
Oh.
how I put her on the spot like this?
You know what? Anytime that, to help people move into a better financial situation, really, that's why I do this. It's for
Yeah,
service. And so,
yeah,
if, it's like this, when you make money doing something and you know it works for you, and if you can successfully climb through the hard times and make it through the hard times, the struggles, and still be doing what you're doing, with passion, then it makes sense that you turn around and you give it back. And that's really what I love doing. So I'm here to
yeah.
anybody that wants a class. We can do a class. I'm offering a coaching opportunity as well for all of you here
I
too.
think we should, well,
Thank
you know
you.
what Lori's offered is a coaching experience with her individually. I think it would be really good stewarding of her time if we did a class with her. And then if you want to go deeper, we could do that. So Lori, why don't we get that on the calendar? That would be amazing.
Okay, sounds
Um,
good.
I
Thank
will
you.
tell you, Lori and I were both, I think we both did Hyperverse. Weren't we both in Hyperverse?
Oh yeah, well, I got in
Was
a
that
little
one
bit
of
because
the
that one I knew I kind of it was a multi-level marketing,
right?
and cryptocurrency doesn't work that way. There's no
No.
hierarchy. It's all even playing ground. And
Yep.
so it's for me, I got in a little bit. I had a friend of mine tell me about it. Yes, we both got
Yep.
into it, and then they ended up closing their doors, just like a lot of the exchanges. Now, pay attention.
Yes.
If there's one thing, Lisa, you wanted me to point out, there was one thing to share, a really important thing to share with the group. If you hold cryptocurrency, hold it in a wallet. Don't
Yes.
hold it in an exchange, because guess who owns it? The exchange owns it. So it's just
Mhm.
like if you travel to another country and you take your American dollars and you want to exchange it for the home country dollars, and you go to a little exchange booth. Do you leave your dollars on the exchange booth when you? No, you don't. So that's the same thing. The cryptocurrency exchange operates the same way as you're trading your dollars for a Bitcoin or an Ethereum or whatever crypto you're buying. Don't leave your money in there, because the currency exchange owns it, and they can continue to use it to exchange other people's
Yep.
dollars.
Yep.
So you pull it out and you put it in a digital wallet, and that would be a really good class that we do together.
That would be an amazing class. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, remember, friends, our role as educators here. We are determined to create more in your own life so we can help you be generous. Lori's just a perfect example. She's starting to speak at churches all over and bringing this, marriage of the kingdom and wealth together. And I want to invite you, friends, whether you are a fellow, financial professional like myself, a licensed professional, maybe you're just your own professional. You are being really a good steward of your own portfolio. You can't forget this asset class. It would not, now that you know what you know, you better make sure you get smart about it because it's not going anywhere. I promise you. Like Lori said, Lori, thank you so much, honey. I so appreciate
Oh,
you, and we
you're
will get that
welcome.
on the
Thank
calendar.
you.
That is so amazing. Everybody, jazz hands for Lori. I
Thank
wanted to share
you. Thank
something
you.
that I personally use. I I've continued. I was scammed twice myself. Then I had my dad's experiences. But I'm determined, like Lori said, it doesn't mean we just give up, right? I'm determined to find something. And I found a company that I work with. They're based in LA. I've met with a person. It's as close to a real bricks and mortar company as you can get. I asked Lori about it. She gave me the green light that it was a good organization. I found it's a great tool if you want to start small. And like Lori said, you want to I never heard of it that way. I love how you said you're getting out of the debt backed. Um, Is that how you put it? Debt-backed, investing and
Yeah,
in a sense, the dollars? I love that. I've not thought of it that way.
yeah. They
And
call it
this company,
fiat currency
it's
is what it's
fiat,
called. Yeah.
the
In the,
fiat currency.
yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And this company, I'll share the link with you. This is a company that they're called Swan, and you can meet with them. You can meet a real life person. Dennis put the link in the chat. What I love about what they're doing is, so for example, I had an old IRA, and it's not a lot. It was like $8,000, but I wanted to do something. I wanted to kind of get going back into my Bitcoin, because at one point I had a decent amount and then I lost it all in
Um,
this scam, So I wanted to get back in, and I had this, I kind of forgot about this, so I moved it. And now what I'm doing is I'm dollar cost averaging daily. So literally in an IRA, you can only do, at my age, I can only do 8,000 a year. So every day I transfer. Every day, it's daily. And the thing is, there is wisdom in dollar cost averaging, especially in the Bitcoin space, because it is so volatile, right? So if you're curious about what, a strategy, that is personally what I do. I love what Lori said about, even if it's $10 a week, or whatever, just giving
yeah.
you an opportunity to get in there, right? Now, Lori, let me ask you, with Swan, I didn't have to do anything in terms of like I transferred the money directly from my IRA, and now I'm just depositing from my checking account, every month. Is there, but they have told me I can do a wallet with them. So for example, I'm curious, when you have a wallet, is that smart, or should you have a separate wallet that's not even attached to any company?
So that's a good question. Depends on what Swan's wallet, if it's decentralized or centralized. So
Okay, okay,
there's decentralized wallet. It is yours. It's a hard wallet. You can download it on your phone. When it's just like this, when you take money out of the bank, you don't leave your money sitting on the counter of the bank. So
right,
if you leave it there, now what do? You take the money off the counter and you put it in your wallet.
okay,
So
okay,
you need to do that action digitally as well. And so
okay,
if Swan is offering a decentralized wallet, and again, they're a fairly new company. They're very good. They're very well known, but they've only been in the business for about 5 years. Everything is new in crypto. So you
right,
want to go with a wallet that you can know how to operate,
yeah,
that if there's a software upgrade, you'll know how to software upgrade it. I had a crypto class about 2 years ago, working with somebody who had just recently contacted me and said, I saved my money on a wallet, but they upgraded it and it wasn't a wallet I had ever heard of. So that's one thing I like to do is go through with individuals with wallets that I know that have stood the test of time since they started.
right,
Because the thing is her wallet had a software upgrade and she didn't, it was a hard wallet. It wasn't on her computer, it wasn't on her phone, it was a separate wallet. And asking me how to do the software upgrade on it, and I don't know, I don't have that one. So I couldn't
right,
help with
right.
that. Unless you're computer or tech savvy where you can do the upgrade yourself, don't go invest in a wallet that's gonna, require that kind of thing.
So
So
that's the
that's the
question
most,
to ask, is it a decentralized wallet, basically, is the
yeah, or is it
crucial.
tied to the
Okay.
exchange? Yeah. So
Okay, perfect. Okay, super. Well, I'm not gonna do anything until we have that class, so we can,
okay,
I
great.
can get the smart
Yes,
get the smart way
definitely.
to do a wallet, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
Raise some hands
Absolutely.
for those of you that would be interested in a master class with Lori, all of it.
Oh,
Learning
great.
together. I
Yes,
think that
thank you
sounds
very much.
amazing. So,
Okay.
Lori, thank you so much, honey. I
Oh,
so
you're
love you
welcome.
and appreciate you. You're amazing. I can't wait to see you soon. Are you back in Florida now, getting out of the Arizona heat?
Oh yeah, for a little while. I'm
Yeah.
traveling a bit. I'll be in Arizona and then yeah, But you know what? It's funny because I just am a sunbird. I like being in the heat anyway. So.
Right. Yeah, I hear ya.
But
Well, love you,
thank you
friend.
for
Thank
having
you
me.
for joining us.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Ladies,
Thank
I
you,
know
everyone.
we've gone a little bit over. I meant to talk about our health insurance through the Clearwater Health Plan today, but I am gonna just have we get to talk about it tomorrow. I just felt like, isn't the crypto space such an interesting topic? I could literally, I feel like it's kind of like when you go to church and you hear the same scripture over and over. It's like because of who you are showing up in that room, it lands a little differently. I'm feeling like I'm getting smarter every time I hear, the topics that people that especially Lori talk about in that space. So I hope that supported you all in learning and growing yourself. Shall we do our giveaway, Miss June?
Yes, please make me host, if you will.
All righty. Are you host already? Did you not
No.
get to be host yet?
Well,
Okay.
I probably switched from my phone to my iPad, so
No worries. There you go. There you go. Who's our lucky winner today?
let's see. Here we
And
go.
when here we go. Who is it? Lori! I know if Lori was still here, she would say you need to give it to somebody else. So we'll spin again. She had to jump off. Oh, you are kidding me. Oh, that is hilarious.
I'm removing her.
Let's
There we go.
let's remove her. Who's the winner? Is it Grace?
It is.
Awesome. Is that Grace? Is that Grace? Is that Stella's sister? The Finiku family is a lucky family. Grace, are you Stella's sister? Are you able to talk? I know she's at work. That's funny. Grace, let's make sure we get your last name and your phone number so we can send you that gift card. Congratulations. I think you're Stella's sister. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. What a beautiful day to celebrate life together. We will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be, we have a treat. Every day's just been such a treat. My girlfriend, her name is Christina Daves. She is a famous inventor. She is also famous in helping people get free publicity for their business. Anyone could use a little free publicity for your business, some tips and tricks there. So you're definitely going to want to join us tomorrow. Blessings, everyone, in this amazing life journey, and we will see you soon. Hey, my success coaches, can I have you stay on for me for a minute? Bye, everybody.